Yeah, I used the wrong command. I've been on Twitch all day, so sue me. Yeah,
There
on
it
Twitch,
is.
all the commands are exclamation point. On Discord, it's slashes because Discord's based on IRC. For those who don't know.
Okay.
Is
Today I
IRC
learned.
is IRC that like little chat thing from the 90s?
That's the same one. Discord's just a very, very pretty version of it.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it's funny that someone invented something in the 90s like that. And ever since then, everyone's just like, you know what? The base technology doesn't need changed.
Yeah, I remember the IRC chat buddy thing. So you're gonna host Lark or what?
Am I still here?
You're
I was
still
going to say,
here.
am I still here? What's happening? Computer is wigging out. So let's get this going before my computer just decides to crash completely. I am Lark Shadow, and this is the 9th or 10th of October, 2024.
33010.
And this is the Loose Screws Podcast. I am joined tonight by the illustrious Commander Oblivious.
I smell light. I know it doesn't smell like toast.
Do you need an MRI of the brain? You should not be smelling light. That's called synesthesia.
Hey, did anyone taste 13 for a second?
You've always had synesthesia.
I'm also joined by the incomparable Commander Bloomingwind.
Hello, everybody.
And I am the moronic Commander Lark Shadow. It's been that kind of day. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But you're our favorite and our best, so here we are.
Oh, goodness. There is that at least. So we are going to go around and see how everyone's week was. How about you, Oblivious?
Well, let's see, guys. I went through a little bit of life sucks this time. Last week, my 13-year-old corgi, who's dealing with degenerative myopia, we thought his quality of life moved to the point where we were going to have to put him down. He was suffering that, but he's had a bit of a bounce back. So he's with us, still with us, and comfortable, and we're just going day to day. But things have greatly improved there.
That's awesome.
In the midst of that, had a water main problem at the house. Several weeks ago, the county came through the neighborhood and replaced all the water meters to ones that modernized it so they could be read from afar. They didn't have to send meter readers around or whatever. And it developed a leak.
Of course,
and it was rather comical because we called the county, and this was on Tuesday of last week. Called the county and said, "We got a leak. It's on your side of the meter." I had plumber come out and confirm that. They tried to tighten it up, didn't fix it. And they said, "Okay, we'll get somebody out there." And I said, "Okay, what does that mean? Like tomorrow?" And the voice on the phone said, "Well, we really don't do ETAs. You could call back next week and check with us." And sure enough,
that's never
one day of this week, they finally came out and fixed it. So, but it didn't cost me anything because the water was on their side of the meter, but they weren't really quick to get out here. But let's see, in game, what's going on in game? Not a lot. I haven't played a lot. I did continue to work to get us out, and we did get out of Calarum now for the second time.
Yay!
And been working on plugging some holes there to make sure that we don't go back to Calarum. So maybe we can put that behind us finally. And what else? And today, because of the hole plugging, things are locked up with a couple of conflicts in the system that we're trying to get to plugged the hole in Calarum. So I jumped out of that and went into AX space, and then spent the day in Raijin, killing bugs. So yeah. How about you,
Noise.
Bloom?
Oh, what about me? So last night I went out for drinks with Chig.
Oh,
Yeah, I met Chig in
Nice.
person. Yeah, that was awesome.
Is he as cool in person as he sounds on the podcast?
He is even cooler in person than
so
he
he's
is on
so
the
he's
podcast.
so he's not AI. Okay.
No, he's not AI. He's very much real. So that was really great. We just when I went to the hotel he's staying at, they have a really nice bar restaurant there, and we just had some drinks, chewed the fat, had a good old time. It was really great. So that would be probably the second ScrewCon. The first one being, I think,
What
last
was the
April.
first?
The one last April, April 1st.
Oh, that's of
We had a
course.
podcast all about it, but
Yeah.
maybe you drank too much during it that you don't remember.
No, that I had to miss that one. I never.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It was all the way in Enid, Oklahoma. At the,
All I remember about that is starting to talk about spaceships, and then the next thing I knew, I was on a plane to home. I don't know what happened in between there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
You still owe me bail
for the
money.
bail. So that was a lot of fun. And then in game, I just kind of logged on a couple of times, stared at the screen, was really tired, went to sleep, and then said, you know what? Maybe I just need to shoot some rocks because I've just kind of been staring at the screen and not sure what I want to do. So I went out and I'm now just shooting some rocks, and I'll be probably coming back to the bubble tonight or tomorrow.
Not bad.
I just need to kind of sometimes go out and shoot rocks to clear my head. So it's a nice way to recharge the batteries before doing some sort of grindy thing. And we've got a couple of grindy things to do that we'll talk about.
That
was
we
my week.
will. I personally have actually had a pretty good week. I haven't been able to play a lot, but these last couple of days I've made an effort to, because I've been wanting to really put to test my Type 10 now that I'm starting to get some things up to G5 engineering on it. And good gosh, that thing can evaporate small ships. It's freaking hilarious, and I love it. I got 4 multi-cannons on the top, and they're all G5, all high capacity, all auto load.
Nice.
So they just never stop firing. Oh, they're all turreted as well.
Very cool. Yeah, I have turrets on my T10. I mean, it's a mining ship, but it's just like, okay, you're a pirate. You want to bother me? And I just push a button and bloop.
Yeah, my mining setup on the T10 has like all of the mining equipment I need, and then 2 turreted cannons and 2 turreted multi-cannons in the larges. It's like, okay, you want to shoot at me? Your funeral.
Well, you should go put the AX versions on that, and we'll have ourselves a Fargo at night, and you can just do scout duty for us.
That is one of the ships I've wanted to try using the most for AX, but still just haven't made the time to convert it over yet. I really, really want to try that. Just all AX freaking turrets except for the small hard points. I don't know what I'll put there. Maybe the beam lasers, but my gosh. It needs to happen.
I mean, the T10 was built as an anti-Xeno ship by people who don't play the game.
I mean, to be fair, I don't play the game the way anyone intends, so maybe it is meant for me to do that with it.
Your entire life led up to this moment.
I have been chosen. Oh, shoot, dog. But the T10's actually been performing well in combat. I've had a few massacre missions where the target is just an anaconda that doesn't attack. And as soon as I attack it, like 5 to 7 of its small ship friends warp in and start shooting missiles at me. And so I got to a point where I just put my fighter pilot on the anaconda because she's at master now. So who cares? As long as the NPC is master or below, she can freaking take that. It's not going to hurt her.
Yeah.
And then I turn around and handle the small ships. And the last time I did that, by the time I turned back around, because it was mostly Cobra Mark IVs, and those actually take a while to kill, even with a T10. By the time I turned back around, my fighter pilot had the Anaconda down to 5% hull, and its shields had just come back up. I was so happy.
What is your pilot shooting? What kind of?
I just had her
SLF?
in the Federal fighter with fixed plasmas.
Yeah, love those fixed plasmas. I
Good-
really
good
wish that we could buy
gosh.
those. You know,
Right?
put a couple size 3 of those things on my Vulture.
Yeah,
I
she
got
was
the
just on a
regular.
freaking tear. I only took a single volley from the missiles and cannons to take the Anaconda out by the time I got over there. Oh, it was good stuff, though. I've been having fun with it. And I've been having fun doing squad stuff. So let's lead right into that.
Oh,
Incoming priority message. Squadron briefing.
look at you using the soundboard. Wow. Alrighty.
Yay.
So
It actually worked that
yay.
time.
Yeah, so we're still expanding out of 7 Andromeda. Not sure exactly where we're landing. There's a system in retreat, and if they retreat out, that's where we'll be going. Hopefully, we don't go back to Calarum. I think that would be impossible anyway. We have a few wars and elections going on, and then the most important thing going on in our space is that V640 Cassiopeia, which is one of our treasured systems because it has a huge population, multiple starports, and a crap ton of tritium. Not the best tritium, but a crap ton of tritium nonetheless. It's become a hub of massacre missions and assassination missions for G5 mats. So people have been coming there from hither and yon to do all these massacre and assassination missions. And as a consequence, Loose Screw's influence has been dropping because we're the only ones not offering massacre and assassination missions. I'm looking at you, Bryce.
I was
all
going to
his
say
fault.
it's dropping like a dude with a jetpack that ran out of fuel.
Exactly. And so we've been trying to figure out, okay, can we just push against this? And, there's no way to push against, 60, 75 pilots by Inara standards coming in and just doing all these missions. So what we're going to do is sour the milk. So the factions that offer these missions do not offer these missions when they're in a conflict. So we're just going to push everybody into conflicts with each other. And the hope is as long as we can perpetuate these conflicts for a long enough period of time, hopefully a few weeks to a month, then people will go away and find other places to do these massacre missions and maybe get the message and not come back. The only problem is if when you lock literally everybody else, we can't raise our own influence. So
At least not easily.
well, with everyone else locked, it's impossible. So it's a zero-sum game.
Fine, be that way.
Yeah, I'd be the way. But but the thing is, if people stop coming, then we can potentially then boost it up after that. It's a pipe dream because, they'll go somewhere else and then they'll go, oh, that place is open now. And then they'll come back. But it might be a fool's errand. But a lot of what I've been having our squadron do in BGS lately feels like a bunch of fool's errands and I'm the fool. So I appreciate everybody that does play along nicely with my crazy suggestions, and details of them can be found in the Standing Orders channel and the Loose Screw faction channels of our Discord. And if you have any questions, reach out to us in the Loose Screws faction channel. We're happy to talk BGS. And that's the squad update.
Now, I got a question.
Go ahead, Oblivious.
Okay.
Were you being tongue in cheek about 7A possibly expanding to Calarum? Is that possible?
I'm 99% sure it's impossible because we literally just left. I think there's a period where you cannot go back, but
we do have 2 holes
to
fill in that.
Yes,
in
but
that system, right?
There are 2 holes to fill in that system, and and so if there's, my hope is that they just send us to one of the full systems. Well, that's what I'm trying to get that other system to retreat, because if that other system retreats and it's in retreat, then that'll be open and we will by default go there. But I don't know what happens if it's the only place we could go that has a hole if we've been just kicked out. I think there's a cooling off period. I've never done that specific test before. So I'm hoping
into their DMs like.
Well, I want to give a shout out to Sing 'em Out Scotty because he's been helping work on the system, one of the systems that we're trying to plug Clarum with. And also a shout out to, I won't name them because they're not part of our Discord, and I don't know if I have permission to call out their names, but there's two folks out there who know who they are that have also been helping with this, and we appreciate their time.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you, anonymous friends.
All right. Well, moving on to the Galnot update, and that concludes Galnet. So with that said, let's move on to the Thargoid War update, and I'm hoping one of you is in game to look at the map to see what's going on with Raijin, because I just logged out of it.
Raijin is down now to this morning. So one system has dropped since this morning. So it's down now to just 10 systems that in controlled that need attention. It doesn't have the Spire, but the pace that it's going on right now, it could go as early as this next Thursday. Become vulnerable. The Titan become vulnerable as early as next Thursday. At the latest, it's going to go 2 weeks, which will be fun because that'll also be on Power Play 2, and is it or whatever the surprise release is supposed to come out at that same time? I'm not sure.
The Mandalay and the FU this month is they're going to be talking about, or at least revealing, what the new mechanic is. So it's a wait and see kind of thing. It's not coming with this update though.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain. The Titan will come vulnerable this Thursday. But it's going to take good old fashioned combat. Huh? No,
like tomorrow,
the 17th. The 17th.
Okay. So
Thursday a week. Thursday a week, right?
Because we're recording this on Wednesday, people.
True.
Just so you all know, and that's why I'm kind of confused about this Thursday, next Thursday. Yeah.
Should use dates. Thank you very much. Let's see. And so good old fashioned combat and pod rescues, because there's no Spire action going on there right now. Well, when it does go, the X folks are thinking 48 to 96 hours for it to get killed. So start planning on getting your 2 mil in as soon as you can in over that time frame, like from that Thursday to Sunday, Monday time frame.
That makes me wonder, are there human space stations near-ish there? Or is Raijin kind of out in the middle of nowhere?
No, there are some. I'm actually parked at one in Raijin space right now that is very, very close. Like Raijin.
Because my thought was to move my DBS over there because that's my Titan Diver and AX ship. And then when the time comes, I can just jump out there in my bubble jumper, get in the Diamondback Scout, and off I go. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah. Okay.
All right. And the other update on the Thargoid War is Cocijo is still completely out of control, but what are you going to do?
One thing at a time.
Cocijo. Was that your nickname for it? Cocijo? I like that.
It's actually Cocijo. I just call it
right. I like Cocijo.
Yeah, that's what my dyslexic brain makes of all those letters together. It just comes out Cocijo.
Yeah. Well, it's close enough. I mean, it's Cocijo. It's Cocijo. But
I wasn't close at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
Horseshoes and hand grenades.
You shoot. All right. Well, moving on to the dev news, and that's the dev news.
Thank you very much.
You're a dev news.
Alrighty. So discussion wise, I actually had a question for you two because I've been thinking about this today. I already know what my answer is, and if you need me to go first, I can. But my question is, what is a moment for you when you were a new commander that really stood out to you when you were playing Elite?
That stood out to me when I was playing Elite.
Like something that just either made you go, wow, or like, oh yeah, this is the guild, something like that. I can go first if y'all need to think. Just let me know.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So that moment for me, I had just, and I mean just, recently bought a Viper Mark IV, upgrading from the Viper Mark III, and I freaking loved the ship. It was everything I wanted it to be, and it still is. It's still my favorite ship. But I was flying around LHS 6309, which was where my home was at the time. This was actually before I even joined Loose Screws. And one of the suns there, as I was going alongside it to fuel scoop, I saw this little thing coming out from it. And after a moment, I realized it was a freaking solar flare. And it was right in front of me. And I got to reenact that Voyager thing while fuel scooping of going right through the solar flare as I went by. I also learned that solar flares can make your heat spike if you don't have A-rated modules. And then speaking of fuel scoops, it just reminded me, back in the day, I actually didn't know how to fuel scoop. I thought the ships just had it built in by default. And yeah.
You happen to get close enough and start scooping, you don't know why, right? Okay.
Well, I thought maybe it doesn't work when I'm in warp. So I dropped out into the exclusion zone of the sun and flew at it for a few minutes.
Why am I getting so hot?
Yeah, yeah, I did get away from that a bit singed and learned later on that, oh, that's a module. That's why it wasn't working. But it's just a funny little thing that things you don't know when you first start playing the game.
Yeah.
How about y'all?
Do you want to go first, Oblivious, or you want me to go first?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
All right. So I'm going to tell an OG 1984 Elite story. And then I'll do a brief one for the current game. But I was playing Elite on my Apple IIe, and I was just doing my thing, knocking around the old worlds, going from Leasty to DSO and whatnot. And then all of a sudden, when I'm doing my my jump, I jump, and then there's a second jump, and then I get pulled into nothingness, and these weird octagonal ships start attacking me.
Oh no.
And I'm like, holy shit, what are these things? And it was like, and I didn't know what they were, and I just started shooting at them, and I got killed, and woke up at DSO station, and was like, what the heck was that? I mean, did the game glitch? It makes no sense. It was so random. And then, I played the game further, and, I ran into these things further, and either I got killed or what have you. But then once I was able to get some really good equipment, I started taking them out. And then you'd have to use an escape pod to get back to where you're going, unless you had enough fuel to get somewhere, which often you did not. But it was just this whole element with these Thargoids that was like, holy crap, this is crazy. And eventually what I did was I put a mining laser on my ship, and I started mining them, and these things called alien artifacts, which I guess would be harvested from them. And I would scoop them up with my field scoop after I ended up killing the Thargoids, but made a lot of money that way. But that was my first wow with Elite, because it was just this: go to the station, trade, kill some pirates, trade, fuel scoop, trade, whatever, go around the galaxies, upgrade my ship. But then this whole thing with these Thargoids that would just pull you into witch space out of the blue randomly was just like, oh, this is actually a dangerous thing. And then I guess my Elite Dangerous wow moment was when I first started playing, left the noob section, and started the engineering grind. And so I had to go all the way down to the Pleiades, to Maya, to buy a meta alloy. And so I flew down. I was doing the exploring. When I got to the Pleiades, and it was just the blue gaseous space all around me was so beautiful, so beautiful. And I was like, they really
Nice.
put a lot of effort into this, and they made a really truly gorgeous game. And that was my wow moment for Elite Dangerous. But those damn Thargoids were the one from 1984.
Nice. My first trip out to the Pleiades to get that meta alloy for Felicity was in a vulture that only had like a 15 light year jump range, and the Thargoids killed me the first jump leaving.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not a fun experience for me.
No.
But I do have a question about your story, though. With
Yes.
the octagonal Thargoids, did you see any octagonal Thargoid booty?
There was all raster graphics. There was no raster booty.
Is there no raster booty?
No raster booty. So
All right, no raster booty. How about you, Oblivious? See any raster booty?
Just so many of them that are like milestones as you go through the game. I just remember the first time flying up and entering one of the orbitals, or the first time seeing an asteroid station. Thargoids, reading so much about the Thargoids and hearing so much about the Thargoids, and then the first time I start getting pulled in widge space and go, oh, here we go, I'm finally going to see a Thargoid, and then it crashes the desktop. But
that is so on brand.
I think
that is the most elite dangerous thing ever.
Exactly. But I think the thing that struck me the most was how emotional I got the first time I went to Seoul. It struck me so emotionally, and then flying out to look at the one of the Voyagers,
Nice.
it just surprised me how emotional I felt about that. So yeah, pretty cool.
Wow.
Nice. Along
Now, have you
those
ever seen the
lines-
video of
Go ahead.
Colo when she went to Seoul?
That's what I was gonna say.
Oh,
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
That was basically my experience visiting Seoul the first time too. The first time I went there, Idaho was actually in full daylight, but I could still kind of make out like where the cities would be, and just dropped out into the exclusion zone above it and just stared at it for a while. It was just wow. Loved
Mhm.
that.
yeah. I need to go back to Seoul and do a touristy tour, because the first time I went was during the Nine Martyrs Massacre, and
Oh,
so
geez.
yeah, no, I mean, it was just one of these things where it was like I was doing the Fed grind for the, or no, was I doing the Fed grind? I was doing some sort of grind of some sort, and like the attack happened, and I was like, oh crap, I got to go to Seoul, and brought my Python over and just started doing rescue missions, and it was the first time I learned how to land without a docking computer. Because I use a docking
Really?
computer. No, yeah, because a docking computer, like from the from 1984 Elite, was a luxury item, because it was a real pain in the ass to dock in that game. It was harder to dock in that game than it is in this game. And so I was like, they're giving me a docking computer? It's a luxury. And then it was like, crap, now I got to learn how to land without a docking computer. And rescuing all those passengers forced me how to learn how to do that. And then once I did that, I got rid of all of them for my small and medium ships, and then taught myself how to do it with my large ships, because those are generally tough to land. So, but yeah, it was like when I was first, that happened, I was not playing for very long when that happened.
Nice.
And so, yeah, having the docking computers was like, I was still a noob. It was a total noob move, but it was early in my gaming, but that forced me to cut it loose. So,
Nice.
but
And
I've
yeah,
never really just sat there and waxed sentimental about Seoul, because it was like everything was burning when I was there. I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta help people.
I mean, yeah, that'd do it. But for anyone listening who hasn't seen when Hello It's Colo visits Seoul, just like put in your favorite internet search, or even just YouTube, Hello It's Colo visits Seoul, SOL. It's really worth the watch. It's really a great just highlight of the game and emotional experience. Just it's good stuff, and she is just fantastic. So would recommend to anybody. Alrighty. Well, that's great, y'all. I actually didn't expect such good stories from you. I don't know why, but
vote of
But it's a
confidence.
game. It's a game with great stories. I mean, it's a
It
game
is.
where
I never know what everyone else is doing, so it just never even occurs to me. That's why I thought up that question at work.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean,
Awesome.
last night when Chig and I were in the cups, we were talking about the war of LTT 17102 when about half the player base was out to kill me. So,
Oh yes.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. It wasn't
I-
half the player base. It was only like 3 factions.
Okay, but it felt like half the player base wanted me dead, and then the other half took a vow of non-interference.
Oh my gosh.
So no one killed me. I made some friends, but no
Oh,
one
shit.
killed me.
Yeah,
Come find me. Come get
I
me.
made some frenemies during that as well. It was especially funny watching some people who were firing at, I think it was Bork in his Federal Corvette, and got him down the like maybe either half shield or half hit points, but couldn't really finish it off. So Bork was just like, "Ah, screw this," and left. Oh shoot, dog! Good
Yeah.
stuff. All right. Well, let's move on to the community corner.
Before we do that, you brought up that there's that the FU they're going to bring
Yes.
up what the secret new mechanic is or what have you.
Right.
Correct.
Feature.
They're at least going to unveil what
New
it
feature.
is. I don't know if they're going to talk about it.
What do you think it is? Each of you.
Oh, frick. That's a good question. So, my gut, my mind, and my heart are in disagreement. So, I'll
Uh-huh.
just tell you what all 3 think. My gut says it's possibly something to do with salvaging or potentially building our own little bases for fun and profit. My heart says it could potentially be EVA related to salvage to help tie on foot and just wandering around stuff into the game better, right?
Mhm.
My brain says that it's none of those things, and I have no freaking clue. That's where I'm at, anyways. I
Uh-huh.
really have no tinfoil. I got nothing on this because they've
You got-
kept it so tight-lipped.
Mhm.
How about you, Oblivious?
I think we're going to be able to build roller coasters on planets.
That would be divine. That would be fantastic.
In all seriousness, I'm looking forward to Planet Coaster 2. Memes aside.
FDev, are you listening? Get him some merch.
Merch, yo.
His name is Lark Shadowed. If you mail it to Idaho, it'll get to him eventually. There's only 5 of them there.
Oh, shoot, dog. Freaking A, Oblivious. That got me. I hate you.
But I would put a vote in for the EVA. I think that would be really cool.
As do I.
That would be really cool. I'd even I would even do the on foot stuff just to do the on foot stuff in space.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, even if the EVA ends up being like, those, what are they called? Not the HGEs, but like the encrypted emissions where you go in and there's like maybe 1 or 2 things to scan there that get you some pretty good mats, and it's like inside a destroyed ship that you have to approach.
Yeah.
Then this is just me speculating wildly, so no one take this for anything. But wouldn't it be cool if after you scan those with your ship, you could get out and there was other things you could scan or gather while you're just out there in your spacesuit? You know what I mean?
Or throw a hatch breaker in, open it up, now go in and throw some stuff out.
Or throw a hatch breaker in, get out of your ship, and while going between the two, get bullseyed by somebody with a railgun.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Shooting
I'm just saying,
EVA
I would try it
commanders.
once if I was in the group with you. I'm just saying.
Yeeting EVA commanders. That would be fun. Yeah.
No, we already did that on Distance Cruise too. Dubs got his commander into space. like straight up space.
Was he standing on a ship or
I
what?
believe so, and it took a while. But I think that was trying to, and Dubs can correct me on this, but I think that was trying to recreate what he was able to do with an SRV in the first distance screws, where he got an SRV on top of a ship, dismissed the ship, and ended up in orbit in his SRV.
In the SRV, but not.
Yes, in the SRV.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
some of us had to detour over there to basically carefully nudge him until he got some momentum going and got back down to the planet.
Yeah. So I think I recall Lave last week that we're talking about some of the crazies have been trying to get into space by standing on a ship, but there's some mechanic that when you get to, I forget what they said, like 16,000 meters or something like that, it's like a hard stop. You can't get any further up that way. So if something happens. But
Well,
I
it is
think
on
I
a ship
believe
anyways.
this.
If you find a strong enough geyser, I don't think that applies.
yeah.
Because I know the other way, like there were times where I couldn't land because I was doing a mission, and it was a mission where I was delivering something, and I had to kill all of the NPCs that were wanted to kill me before the planet would let me land. Like I would come in on approach, and it would just
Oh,
be
that's a
like,
weird
"You
bug.
can't land here." And I don't think it was a bug. I think it was a by design or something. It seemed very
Were you
built.
using an auto docker?
No,
Huh.
no. I mean, I was just no super cruise, no nothing. It was just I was trying to get into like a descent, and it just you couldn't get lower altitude than a certain point. It was like there was a hard top, and you couldn't get below it. And I was just stuck. I was just stuck. Having to fight these NPCs, which was fine. But I was just
Weird.
like they were just annoying me.
That was a carryover from your LTT wars.
I think it was.
Where, even the NPCs hated you at that point. So.
Yeah, they had it out for you.
Yeah, they always hated me. So yeah. Now, what do I think what it's going to be?
Yes. What do you
Um,
think?
Okay, I think it's either going to be something like base building, like surface base building, or surfaced conflict zones. So you know how we have with the Thargoids, where you have these wars raging above a base.
Mm-hmm.
Now do that with BGS. So Loose Screws is at war with the Forgotten, say. And instead of a CZ popping up in space, a CZ pops down at one of the ports on the planet. And so you're fighting other ships on the Earth. Like on just like instead of Thargoids, you're fighting NPC ships.
But I hate to be the guy to do this, but that's already there, isn't it?
Nope.
No.
Because I have done ground CZs in a ship. I never got out of my spaceship.
But
have you done
ship
to ship war above a planet in atmosphere? I think that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. In atmosphere.
Yeah.
So
I was in my ship over a settlement on the ground in an atmospheric world. I was shooting ships in the sky and won a CZ on my own. Doing
really that exists.
Yeah, because shooting the ships counts towards that CZ.
Okay.
I've also done it with Volt and whoever else on the ground. And I only
Okay,
remember that because I almost pasted Volt with my T10 when I got a little too low on a pass.
I know what I'm doing in the next war.
Right? It's a lot of
yeah.
fun. Would recommend, especially if you have people there on foot at the same time.
Yeah. All right, then my money's on either base building or you can land on full atmospheres, planets, or water worlds.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That would be cool.
But yeah, sorry to be Captain. Actually, yeah.
Well, no, I appreciate that because now I got something to do. Like, oh,
was
thanks
that
more.
Was that Captain Will actually or Wet Blanket?
No, I can't steal Wet Blanket from tracks. That's secret.
Yeah.
I'll be well, actually.
Yeah.
Oh shoot.
brings us to the community corner.
That it does. And we have sad news to start out. Commander Quiz Engine, who was actually a regular contributor on the Burrs Discord and community. If you didn't know who he was, you may be familiar with his Odyssey map guide that he made, where he mapped out all of the Odyssey installation types. And he was the one that also did the ship identification quiz that was literally nothing but the landing gear of all the ships, which I thought was freaking hilarious.
Yeah, and that was a hard quiz. I did terrible.
I actually did all right at that quiz. I think I got like an 80% or something.
Yeah, I think I was playing Xbox, so I didn't have any on feet time.
Right. But he did unfortunately pass away. All of our condolences go out to his family. And let me see. And it looks like the Burr Pit is trying to put together a thing. It doesn't say what, but Burr is working on trying to get his name added into the permanent memorial beacon into the game.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Right.
Sad news, but if you want to help get his name into the game, get into the Burr Pit Discord. They're wonderful people, even if they are English.
Jeez. And Scottish.
That was for Audaxis.
Audaxis made you do it.
Yes, exactly. So Buckyball is coming back. It's the Raiko Sport.
Commander Reiko is sponsoring it.
Oh, Commander Reiko is sponsoring it. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I got kind of tied up when I was trying to correct it. Like you were splicing something in early. You were splicing your YouTube links in when I was trying to type that out, and there was a splicing error. It's okay.
As you can see, everyone, we are consummate professionals.
No, they got rank amateur night, and they knew it.
Yeah. Anyways, Commander Raiko is sponsoring it. It's called Once Upon a Time in Lesti, and it will begin on Friday, the 25th of October. If you want to be involved, get over to the Buckyball Discord. We also have a new post from Commander Scorbius.
Yeah, let me help you with those two.
Yes, thank you.
I'll put those in. And I'll reverse the order. First one is there's a Alex Turner is flexing a bit. And it's so cool. He's got his SRV at a Spire site, and he's jumping around the circumference of the main spire from platform to platform.
Oh my gosh, I need to go watch that.
Lord. Yeah.
Spinning his SRV as he does it, and then jumps down to platforms, to some to a couple of platforms on some of the minor spires. Going throughout the title of the YouTube is Platformer Spire Platform Jumping 11,000 feet up. Feet. He didn't go metric. Interesting. This must be the US version.
Yeah. Well, it just shows how tall the spires are, because holy crap.
Yeah. The other video, and for anybody in our Discord deal, both of these are in our video channel. If you can't get to our show notes, yes, we have show notes. Scorbius is at it again. This one is called a Scorbius Zoom. The picture is great. It's Doom except Zoom with a Scorbius character out front. I'm not going to say anything else about it other than it's hilarious. And my opening I smell light Easter egg is in that one. So go look at that. It's funny.
Yep.
It's funny.
Well, I know what I'm doing after the show.
Same. Alrighty. And with that, where did the end thing go? If you want to join us on our Discord. And you can find the link for that at loosescrewsed.com or loosescrewsed.com. You can also support us on Patreon, where we make a bunch of merch and make wonderful plans for people to win it in contests that we always forget to do. But I promise one day we will do it.
It's getting near. it's getting near Christmas time, so I'm sure we'll come up with something generous for
Exactly.
the holiday.
Life keeps getting in the way because we're all middle-aged men. So,
Yep.
Alrighty.
Some of us are.
Hashtag thanks, man. That's for you, nerds. Alrighty. And with that, I got nothing else. If you guys got nothing else,
I got nothing else.
how about you, Oblivious?
I'm done.
All right. So with that, we will bid you a farewell. This has been the Loose Screws Podcast. Everybody say goodbye.
Good night, all.
Goodbye.